Hello, this is Sean Austin with 7app with a 2-for-1 instructional video on Lab 4, Problem 3, and Problem 4. Lab 4, Problem 3 required us to develop a function that would take an image and rotate it 90 degrees to the left. I've pre-written this and I'll go through each line. First I defined the function rotate pick using pick as an argument. Define my variables width and height based on the source. Develop my empty canvas, reversing my width and height because I want this to be in a landscape. Developing my two for loops, x in range 0 to width, y in range 0 to height. Pulling my colors from each pixel based on the source x and y. Developing a variable that's going to take those pixels and put them to the empty canvas y and x, because my canvas is going to be in the landscape. And there's actually an error inherent in this line, which I'll come back to. And then finally I'll set my color based on my target variable and the color variable already defined. So we'll load the program. And then we'll call the function. And we'll get our resultant images. And the error inherent that I was speaking of is clearly when this was rotated over, it mirrored the image. So what I'm going to go back and do is use the same trick that we used in the vertical mirror and do a width minus x minus 1 here. Reload the program. And then recall the function. And we'll find that error gets sorted out. So that is Lab 4, Problem 3. And for the second part of this, we will look at Lab number 4, Problem 4. Instructions being to do a shrink pick function. Well, again, I have this code written. I'll explain this line by line. First, I define the function using source as an argument. Define my source width and source height variables. And then create my target blank canvas, which is the source width, source height, each divided by 2. And I define my destination x coordinate. I define that at 0. I was watching some instructional videos that suggested you do this equal to 1. But when I tried that, I would get an error code saying that my resultant picture was 1 pixel over and it crashed the function. So here I'm designing my first for loop for source x in the range 0 to the width of the source incrementing by 2, defining my destination y coordinate at 0, defining the range as 0 to the height, again incrementing by 2, getting the color from the source. Clearly I'm going to get every other pixel, and then setting color to the target with this my pixel coordinate and this my color coordinate based on the pixels that I'm pulling off of the source. And once I'm through with that, I'm incrementing my y by 1. So it'll start at x1, work all the way down through the y values, and then come out of that loop and come here to my x coordinate and move over 1 and come all the way down the column there, progressing until we're all through with the source pixels. So let's run this function. And then we'll call this function. And so I have my shrink and my full-size picture, as I asked both to show. And that concludes that.